If it's Monday night, oh yes, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It is ridiculously over Anthony Florio once again sitting in for the Hardcore Python Derek Herrera as he continues his leave of absence due to his sportsblog.com commitments. I am joined as always by my esteemed colleagues, the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher and our Phenom Michael Bullock. Another week, another great episode of Monday Night Raw here tonight as we were live from Seattle. That's where it was located tonight. The second to last edition of Raw before the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam, which will be live on the WWE Network on August the 23rd from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. We'll get to that in the few coming weeks. So it was at the Xfinity Arena. And it actually was not in Seattle. It was in Everett, Washington. I guess it's a suburb of Seattle, I guess. So it was the Xfinity Arena in Everett, Washington. That's where we were tonight. So with that said, let's get right into it. Let's start the show here. And we started off with an in-ring segment. Of course, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins was the one who in charge of it. Not a surprise. I mean, we knew that was coming. I mean, it's as predictable as the Authority. That's all there is to it. But there was not one, not two, but three twists. We had three interruptions. First by Cesaro, then Kevin Owens, and then the Viper Randy Orton. And then yet another interruption, but a necessary one. The boss himself, the COO, Triple H, the Authority. So Seth Rollins, does his usual thing, and I'll tell you what. He mocked John Cena. He said John Cena via satellite, but it turned out to be Seth Rollins, making fun of John Cena, dubbing his voice and his mouth onto Cena's mouth, a little photoshopping there, if you will. And I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was there was a brief moment. Briefly, I actually thought it was funny. But at the same time, though, I thought it was a little campy and a little corny and definitely a little unnecessary. And it was like, oh boy, here we go, another campy Rollins segment. It ranks right up there with that god-awful game show type segment he had with Kane and J&J a few weeks back. Thankfully, he didn't get that bad. But then Owens, Cesaro, Orton, they saved the segment here. Chaos abounds. All three make an argument as to why they should face Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tonight. And then Triple H comes out and makes a double main event, a huge double main event. First, a triple threat number one contenders match. Randy Orton, Cesaro, Kevin Owens. And the winner would go on to face Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the main event of Monday Night Raw tonight. So, very chaotic segment, but I would say maybe I probably would have to say second best segment of the night here. It was definitely not the segment of the night. You know where I'm going with that, especially Mr. Bullock. He knows where I'm going with this one because I know he agrees with me on that fact. But nonetheless, though, the Rollins stuff early on, it was campy, like I said, when he was making fun of Cena. But then once Cesaro, Owens, Orton, and the game came out, that's when business picked up, a la Jim Ross, and in a good way. So, still, of course, no John Cena for the second week in a row because, John Cena a couple weeks ago, Rollins broke his nose. But we do know John Cena will be on Tough Enough tomorrow night on the USA Network. Very interesting to see what happens with that. Could he accept Rollins' challenge for SummerSlam for that title match? We're going to have to wait and see. But to me, it was the second best segment of the night. And, by default, because there was only two segments. So I'm saying this was the second best. The other one, far and away better. That's all I'm going to say right now. So there's really nothing left for me to say here except I'm going to throw it up now to my partner in crime. Long time no see, Mr. Bullock.
Long time no see, Florio. Yes, hello, friends. This is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. Mike Bullock here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always. Early in the segment, I thought it was a little corny. I thought it was a little campy comedy with that Rollins mocking John Cena. And then, of course, it got real interesting with Cesaro coming out saying, you know what, I want to face you for your WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And just when Rollins was like, that's not going to happen, then here comes Kevin Owens. And then he says, you know what, I deserve a shot at the title. And then, of course, and then you had the Viper, Randy Orton, come out, and it's not, as Florio and I were watching this, we had that feeling that Michael Fletcher, he was doing that Randy Orton pose and was smile like a Cheshire cat when it happened. And he said he wants a shot at the title. Then Triple H comes out and basically says, you know what, we're gonna have a triple threat match tonight, and then whoever wins that triple threat match is going on to face Seth Rollins later on in the night for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So, yes, this was indeed the second best segment of the night. There was one that was better. So, I really got nothing else to say except let's turn to our resident Viper, Michael Fletcher, for his thoughts on the opening segment.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, it was a solid segment, no doubt about it. Great way to start it. It was as good as it could have been. Seth Rollins, definitely that thing with John Cena, I gotta say is one of my lowlights of the night. I didn't really care too much about it as well. But I definitely got intrigued with Cesaro, Owens, and Orton getting in. That was definitely compelling TV, no doubt about it. Awesome to say the very least. At the end of the day, we got a really good payoff because now you can see there is definitely legitimate contenders for the WWE World Heavyweight title, and it is more wide open than ever before. And I think that's the one thing that was really lacking in WWE for a lot of times because of the fact that, we're seeing the same old guys getting the opportunities. Even though, Orton wants another shot at the belt, and yes, Cena will probably get the shot at SummerSlam, but look who's in the picture now. Kevin Owens and Antonio Cesaro. Don't you think that's a great thing for WWE to let these guys get at least a look at it, a glimpse at it? Absolutely. Neville last week doing the open challenge and getting his opportunity at the big belt. I mean, for heaven's sake, man, I mean, I like to see this more than anything else for the WWE's future. I like where they're going. It's a good idea. Love it. It was a good segment. A second best segment, yeah, all right, I'll give it to you guys for the most part. Nothing else to say, Anthony. Let's move on.
First off, before we move on, I got a little something I want to get off my chest, and I know Fletcher will agree with me on it. During that segment, when the fans were when Rollins was basically talking about breaking Cena's nose, they once again said thank you, Rollins, and I'm like, really? I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row that they did this. I mean, come on, IWC. I understand you don't like John Cena, but the man had a broken freaking nose and finished the match with Seth Rollins. I mean, you gotta give him credit for that, and you still say thank you, Rollins, for what he did to John Cena's nose?
You know what? The thing is that there's going to be people who's going to care about it, and then there's people who doesn't give a damn. And as much as we may be ticked off or feel like it's disrespectful or anything else, unfortunately, this is America, Bullock.
I know this is America, but it's just I just don't like how they go about it. But you know.
Oh yeah, it's classless, no doubt about it. It's classless, but
But hey, they have the right to their opinion, and there's nothing we can do about it. Now, Florio, let's move on.
All right. Okay, let's move on to our first match of the night, and I can't think of a better way to start it off than Hot Divas action, fellas. I know you're ready for it. I'm not even going to ask. I know you're ready for it. So, how about this? 6 Diva tag team matchup. Team Bella versus Team Bad. Winners of the match in an even 9 minutes. Team Bella on the board. Team Bella wins it. Yes, it was a dreaded roll-up of doom, the dreaded roll-up out of nowhere by Brie Bella on Tamina Snuka. So that's how it is. 9-minute matchup. Team Bella on the board. And before I throw it to Michael Bullock, a big announcement was made tonight. And to quote one of my many broadcast idols, the great Tony Kornheiser from Pardon the Interruption, I believe I had this one, guys. At SummerSlam, all 3 factions, Team Bella, Team Bad, and the newly named Team PCB, multi-diva elimination match. All 3 factions in an elimination style match. Surprised by this? I'm not. I had this one. I knew this was going to happen. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the match and what's going to happen at SummerSlam?
All right. Yeah, I thought this was a good match. Not great. I'll give it maybe about 2 to 2.5 stars when it comes to the match. I thought the action here was fine for what it was. But it definitely, I mean, it didn't leave me saying, "Oh wow, this was a really great match," like some of the Divas matches we've had in the past, or should I say the last few weeks. But it was still fine for what it was, and finally Team Bella gets on the board after basically losing the last few weeks since the Diva Revolution was announced, and so now they finally get on the board, and now we find out SummerSlam. It's a 3-team elimination match at SummerSlam. Team PCB versus Team Bella versus Team Bad, and this has got the chance to be something really good, but we'll have to wait and see. But the Divas Revolution continues, but this match, I mean, it was good, not great. 2 to 2.5 stars. Fletcher, I give it to you.
I agree with that. 2.5 stars. It was a solid fight. It was a very good match. I mean, yeah, you had to have a feeling that the Bellas were gonna sooner or later get a win here. Tonight was a good night. They get the victory. Everything's all good. Nothing bad to say about that. I mean, hats off to them. Well done. But it's a solid fight. As far as the special fight for SummerSlam, it was expected. All the ladies have been so amazing up to this point. Why not let the fans in Brooklyn get a big payoff here? It's going to be a great match, no doubt about it. But here's the thing. If Team PCB, if they win it, it cements them as a legacy group, as a dangerous group, and definitely the winner of that fight will probably make them future #1 contenders. If Team Bad wins it, then who knows how this is going to play out. If I gotta say, if Sasha Banks wins that fight, then you could see maybe a story where we could have a first-time opportunity where, for the first time since Paige does it, where Sasha Banks could say, hey, I want to be the one to unify the Divas title and the NXT Women's title and have both belts in their possession. If Team Bella wins it, then you know the IWC is going to go in cinch because of the fact that even though it's this Diva Revolution, the Bellas are still the best, and they're still going to get over on anybody, and that's not going to sit well with people. So my prediction in that fight is if a Team PCB member wins it, it's going to push that Diva Revolution into overdrive. If Naomi or Tamina wins it, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. If Sasha Banks wins it, then look out. I think we might have an opportunity where Sasha could unify and get 2 belts in one, and quite frankly, I think that'd be oh so beautiful. But if Alicia Fox wins it, who cares? If the Bella wins it, it's rant time, and I'll leave it at that. So Anthony, move on.
If the Bellas do win that, then favoritism would rear its ugly head one more time.
And I will go off like a crazy man.
Oh yeah, you're not the only one. But nonetheless, my thoughts on the match. I'm going to meet you guys halfway. I'm going to say it was between 2.25 to 2.5 stars for the effort. It's one of the top matches of the night. I definitely feel that. Not the fight of the night by any means, but I would say right around the 3rd or 4th best fight of the night on my scorecard, to be honest with you. 9 minutes, that's all they got this time around. The action was solid throughout. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. I didn't like the finish, though. I mean, it was that dreaded roll-up out of nowhere, which is typical, which is how typical Ho-Hum Diva fights 9 times out of 10 ended. But up until then, the action was very good, and of course the Diva Revolution continues to wow and impress us. And SummerSlam, I can't say I'm surprised. I knew this was the direction they were going in. Turn them all loose. 3-team elimination match at SummerSlam with Team Bad, Team Bella, Team PCB. And, yeah, Fletch made all the great points about it. If the Bellas win, well, and just like one of the great ECW pay-per-view events of all time, and I know Michael Fletcher will agree with me on this, anarchy rules. That's all there is to it. Anarchy will rule if God forbid, Team Bella goes over in any way, shape, or form. If Team Bad wins it, that would definitely boost their stock, no question about that. Especially if Sasha does go over. We could have a possibility of a unification match, maybe at the Night of Champions on September 20th at the Toyota Center in Houston. We'll see on that. But right now, if they were going to put the gun to my head and said, all right, Floyd, who do you got in this fight? Right now, I'm leaning towards Team PCB because they've been the dominant faction since this whole thing started. They got like 5 or 6 wins under their belt already. And if Paige wins, well, it's business as usual. Becky Lynch wins. That's a very big deal right there because Becky Lynch is of course one of the fastest rising divas in the WWE right now. Charlotte Flair wins. Well, we already know what's going to happen. Charlotte Flair. I think personally they're grooming Charlotte Flair to ultimately be the one to end Nikki Bella's reign of terror with the Divas Championship. A reign that honestly should have ended a long time ago, to be quite honest with you. But so we got a couple weeks to think about this. But to me right now, my early projection is Team PCB is going to win that match at SummerSlam, and I think Charlotte Flair is ultimately going to be the one who gets the big rub out of it, and then they can set up Charlotte Flair against Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship at the Night of Champions in Houston. And the timing of it would work out as perfect can be here. Because that night, we all know Nikki Bella is going to go in there as the champion. Everybody knows that. That would mark day number 301 as the Divas Champion. It would already put her past AJ Lee. It would break AJ Lee's record of 295. It would get her to 300, just over 300. And then on that night, that's the night where they'll finally, hopefully, God forbid, take the strap off of her, I should say, in Houston, and then Charlotte Flair can become the new Divas Champion, and then maybe we can get another one of those beautiful emotional scenes with her and the Nature Boy Ric Flair, like we've been seeing over the last few weeks. So That's just how I hope it happens. We don't know how it's going to happen, but Eva Revolution keeps on rolling, baby. Keeps on rocking. And I, for one, cannot be happier. And I know my esteemed colleagues will more than happily agree with me on this. So, Wham Bam SummerSlam, like the late great Roddy Piper once said. So, and it's going to be Wham Bam, thank you, man, at SummerSlam. I cannot wait. So, man, that's going to be fun to watch. And I definitely think, and Michael Bullock, you're absolutely right. It's got the potential to be something really, really special. It could go down as, one of the greatest women's matches in the history of SummerSlam. We haven't had many, but I think this one, if it gets the proper amount of time and it gets booked correctly, look out. We could have another contender for Diva Fight of the Year. That's no question about it. All right, so with that said, we're going to move on now to our next matchup. It was tag team action. New Day being represented by Big E Langston and Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods going up against the Los Matadores, Diego and Fernando, of course, El Torito by their side as always. Winners of the match in an even 4 minutes, it was the New Day. And before I throw it to Michael Fletcher, another announcement. And this is yet another expected match that I expected. SummerSlam. We're going to have ourselves a fatal four-way match for the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Primetime Players, defending against challengers and former champions, the New Day, along with Los Matadores and the Lucha Dragons. So, Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on the match and, of course, the upcoming Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam?
Well, here's the thing about this. First off, the match itself, I mean, it was okay. I could give it maybe 1.5 stars is my rating for it. At the end of the day, nothing special, nothing amazing. I can't really say anything about it, but I will say this. The Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Tag Team Championship, I think we all can agree that was expected. There was no big surprise here. We kind of were hoping for something good out of it. We got a good payoff out of it, no doubt about it. And I think it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be enjoyable. I'm gonna like it. At the end of the day, I truly believe that this could be, and I'll admit it, this could be one of those fight of the night type things. So I'm not going to say it's going to be the fight of the night, but I think it's going to be a solid fight to say the very least. I mean, it's going to be an okay match, but at the end of the day, I do believe the New Day will not win it. I think it's going to be the Primetime Players, still the WWE Tag Team Champions, and will give me and Michael Bullock plenty more reasons to do the millions of dollars. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to say Florio the time. But I will say this. Florio, you better be ready because the night of SummerSlam, we might be not doing that, but we also might be doing Lucha as well because they're in the fight. So it is almost obligatory for me and Bullock to do it. And plus, as much as you might be all holy and all nice and prim and proper now, sometimes we like to mix things up a bit. Get a little evil in the place. So don't mind us. We're just going to be a bunch of crazy knuckleheads that night. Florio, it's yours.
Oh, goodness gracious. Primetime Players going over is one thing, but if they put the belt on the Luchas, oh my goodness. Wow. That would be a sight to see as well. But as far as the fight is concerned, I do agree with Fletcher's sentiment there. 1 to 1.25, teetering on 1.5. Not one of the better efforts, but what's up? I mean, 4 minutes. I mean, it was solid for what it was. It was too short for my liking, though. The right team definitely went over with the New Day, and then of course that announcement came in a backstage interview. The New Day with the beautiful Renee Young. They were doing an interview. And as far as that tag title match at SummerSlam goes, I'll say it like this. Michael Fletcher's onto something. I think, for my taste, it's got potential to be perhaps the sleeper fight of the night, if I'm being honest with you. he's also correct. It's not going to. It is certainly not going to be the fight of the night. We already know what the fight of the night is going to be. It's going to be The Undertaker against Brock Lesnar. That's a no. That's a no doubter right there. No doubter. Taker and Lesnar's going to steal the show. So yeah, I definitely agree. I think going into it, my early projection for that fight, maybe a 2.5 to 3 star fight going into that. Whereas the Divas, if they get the proper amount of time, we could be looking at uncharted territory for the Divas. We could be looking at perhaps 3.5 to 4, as far as the Divas are concerned, going into that elimination rules match. So we'll have to wait and see. But primetime players definitely are the favorites here. I'll tell you right now, Los Matadores ain't winning that sucker. There's no way. There's no way we're going to get a Los Matadores title win. God forbid if that happens. To me, of course, PTP are the favorites. Everybody knows that. New Day right behind. But watch out for the Luchas. Remember, the Luchas are former NXT Tag Team Champions. They ended the Reign of Terror by the Ascension. Remember when the Ascension, once upon a time, when the Ascension were, ruling the NXT Tag Team division with an iron fist. I believe they held those tag team titles longer than any team in NXT history. And who put an end to that reign? It was the Luchas. So, do we see something like that at SummerSlam? I don't know. We'll see. But God forbid, if they go over, I'm going to get Lucha by Fletch and Bullet. They're going to give me the Lucha. Or God forbid, PTP goes over, which could be expected. Then I'm going to get bombarded with the millions of dollars, and all that. But we'll have to wait and see in 13 nights. So it's a 1 to 1.5 star. It's a 1 to 1.25 star, I should say. What, Fletch?
The only thing I'm dreading is, Lord help us, if the New Day wins it, then Florio's gonna be pile driving me and Bullock into the ground with his New Day rocks type bit.
Honestly, I honestly wasn't thinking about doing that, but then again, after the ammo you just gave me, I just might do it.
You've done it before, Florio. You drilled us to the ground with the New Day.
Yeah, you have, Florio.
I'm gonna have to look into my archives on that one, but nonetheless, though, it's a 1 to 1.5 star for the efforts. So Michael Bullock, we saw the fight. We damn near went the distance here tonight. So what did you? Well, I already know what you think, but enlighten our viewers out there.
Yeah, it was a 1 to 1.5 star match. It was good, not great. The match was fine for what it was, and yes, it was expected that we're now getting a fatal 4-way for the WWE Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam. The Primetime Players versus the New Day versus the Los Matadores versus the Lucha Dragons, and yeah, I do agree. Los Matadores, they're not winning that. Oh my gosh, I will go crazy in a not so good way if the Los Matadores walk out with the tag team titles. So yeah, it could be the New Day that could retain it. But like I said, watch out for the Luchas. Because like you just mentioned, they are the former NXT Tag Team Champions, so they know what it's like to hold that gold. But I do get this feeling that I think the Primetime Players are going to somehow retain the tag team titles, but we'll have to wait and see. So really got nothing else to say. 1 to 1.5 stars. With that being said, Florio, let's move on.
And my friends, we are going to move on in a very big way here on the Wrestling Forum, because coming up next, the next match we're going to get into, oh boy, get ready for this one, my friends. Triple threat match, #1 contendership for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was Randy Orton, it was Kevin Owens, it was Cesaro, the Swiss Superman. The winner would face Seth Rollins for the title in the main event. Michael Fletcher, you know what you got to do. Winner of the match in 18 minutes and 10 seconds to become the #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Your man, the Viper, Randy Orton. There it is. We knew it was coming, man.
There it is.
It was going to happen. Nobody does that better than him. Not even I could do a better one than that. Not even Bullock could do a better one than that. But there you go. Nobody does it better than Goodall, and that's Mike Fletcher. I certainly cannot wait to get his thoughts on the fight and how he felt about his man going over. So, but unfortunately, Fletcher's going to have to go last on this one because I started off. Lucky me, luck of the draw, smiles on me for a change. So I have nothing else to say. This was the fight of the night. 3.5 to 4 stars. Very good triple threat match. I mean, we've been getting spoiled by these classic matches, and well, I'll be honest with you. I know Fletcher. I think the only person here out of the three of us, there's only one who I know is happy with the outcome of it. That's Michael Fletcher. Me, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Nothing against Randy Orton. I appreciate everything he's done for the business. He's given us a lot of special moments, honestly. But if I'm going to be quite honest with you, I was kind of hoping Cesaro would have gone over here. I mean, Randy Orton's done everything. He doesn't have to prove anything to me. He doesn't have to prove anything to us. A loss would definitely have not hurt him. He would have been okay. But Cesaro, man, I mean, I think what they're trying to do here is they're trying to tell a great story here, and I think they're doing that. They're trying to tell a story about how Cesaro has been in all these instant classics of matches over the last month or so, but yet he's lost all of them. I mean, honest to goodness, I really wanted to see him go over here. I mean, him and Rollins, that would have been absolutely fantastic. That would have been a damn near 5-star classic, because here's a couple of guys who, as I recall, and I know Michael Fletcher being the ROH historian that he is, weren't those two guys mainstays in ROH Fletcher, as I recall? Cesaro as Claudio Castiglione and Rollins as whatever name he was going by?
Well, Rollins was there only briefly. I mean, he wasn't really that big of a name in Ring of Honor. I mean, he was there for a little bit, but
Cesaro, though.
Kevin Steen is an ROH original.
That's true. Yes, that's right. The Antichrist.
Kevin Steen is probably one of the greatest in Ring of Honor history. I mean, the body of work that he had in Ring of Honor was absolutely phenomenal. He dominated I think there was at least 3 or 4 years where Kevin Steen was really like a mega star. He was the ROH heavyweight champion of the world too. So I mean, yeah, and I mean,
Cesaro.
And Cesaro was good. I mean, but he was more outside of the independent circuit. I mean, but he's had some great moments as well in Ring of Honor too. So yeah, no doubts.
All right, I just wanted to be sure on that. But Cesaro and Rollins, that would have been an excellent match. But then again, Owens and Rollins, that would have been just as good. But nonetheless, Orton getting the win here. Somewhat typical, predictable booking here. But even with it, I mean, the match was just wow. I mean, great. I mean, it built up. We got ourselves a fantastic, excellent triple threat match with a great finish. And I'm trying to get my train of thought here. Shakespearean drama abound, no doubt about that. And what a great finish! What a cool finish we saw here. A great finishing sequence on top of the great overall body of work. I mean, and yes, during the match, we got to see it. Another one of Michael Fletcher's favorite moves, the Cesaro swing. Nobody does that better than Fletch, too. I mean, yeah. I mean, I know how much he loves the Cesaro swing, but then again, we all do. We all love that Cesaro swing. And another thing of Cesaro's that I know Michael Bullock loves, the Cesaro section signs. I mean, I know how much Mr. Bullock's been loving those Cesaro section signs. I think he loves it so much, I think he wants to get one for himself. No doubt about that.
I love the Cesaro section.
Yes, and apparently so did that IWC crowd in Everett, Washington tonight. But nonetheless, fantastic triple threat match. I mean, great near falls. Definitely chock full of some fine Shakespearean drama. You know how much we here at the Wrestling Forum love Shakespearean drama. So, very good match. fight of the night, 3.5 to 4 stars. The only gripe I have is that Cesaro should have gone over. So, not a knock on Orton by any means. I love his body of work, and I definitely respect and appreciate everything he's done throughout his brilliant Hall of Fame caliber career. Yes, he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, no question about that. But to me, the wrong guy won. I'm sorry. It should have been Cesaro. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this instant classic of a triple threat match?
I do agree. This was indeed the fight of the night. 3.5 to 4 stars. Chock full of Shakespearean drama, and I mean, well done by all three men. I mean, the one that really stood out to me was Cesaro. I mean, some of the moves he did was just awesome. I mean, basically leaping over the top rope. I mean, this is a guy that's basically known more for his strength, and we saw some high-flying action from Cesaro. I mean, it's amazing. And you even saw it from Kevin Owens. This guy weighs like 260 pounds.
266, Bullock, and yes, I made that great point. You saw that over the top move he did. To me, I was having flashbacks of Rey Mysterio in the old WCW. Forgot.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. This is a move that only cruiserweights or light heavyweights do, but not from someone like Kevin Cesaro. I mean Kevin Owens, who basically weighs 266 pounds. I mean, my gosh. But I do agree with Florio. Cesaro, to me, I think he should have gotten the win here, but you know what? I'm fine with Randy Orton getting the win here. So now he goes on to face Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. What happens then? You're going to have to find out when we talk about the match in our main event later on. But, of course, getting back to Owens and Cesaro, I mean, you know those two are going to face off at SummerSlam. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, 3.5 to 4 stars. This was indeed the fight of the night. So, Fletcher, I give it to you.
Sorry, guys, I had to unmute my mic. No, I gotta agree with you guys as well. 3.5 stars is my prediction about it. Fight of the night, no doubt about it. What a match it was! What an event! This was definitely a great fight, no doubt about it. I loved it, enjoyed it. You couldn't write a better script on this one. This was just, it was amazing. It just had great action. The drama was amazing. It was exciting. It was thrilling. But at the end of the day, Randy Orton does get the win. And I know a lot of people are not going to be too thrilled with Orton being, the guy and, getting the shot. And I get it. I'm not gonna, gripe all over it or cry over it as well. I know a lot of people will be very upset over it. But at the end of the day, sometimes those things do tend to happen. And Orton won the fight. He is the number one contender. He gets a shot at the gold. And it's just, we'll wait and see what happens then. So, no, congratulations to Randy Orton. He gets the shot. How does he do? You'll find that out a little bit later tonight. So with that said, Anthony, let's move on.
Real quick, Fletch, I want to know, once Orton hit those RKOs, and once Orton got the win, were you marking like a crazy man? I'm sure you were.
I was thrilled. I was happy that he got it. I'm thrilled that he got another shot at the belt. It's awesome. It's awesome that Orton gets an opportunity. But I also, in a way, felt a little melancholy about it too, because I was actually pulling for Cesaro to get the shot because of how amazing he's been for the last month or so. I mean, the body of work that he's brought to the table is really deserving of a shot for the WWE World Heavyweight title. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Absolutely. That's our number one saying here on the Wrestling Forum. So, but man, what a fight it was. So, all right, we got to move on here. Let's see here. All right, and then they showed that video package, that great video package of The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Of course, a big special was on the WWE Network a little bit ago, hyping The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, called SummerSlam Reckoning, and that was on the WWE Network immediately following Monday Night Raw. And
I did watch it on my phone.
I know you did, Bullock. It was well documented when I told you about that the other night during one of our late night Facebook chats. So
Yeah, it was definitely well documented, and you heard a lot of superstars basically talking about this big fight. You heard from guys like Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Fletcher's boy Randy Orton even talked about the big fight.
Stone Cold,
Big Show, Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Triple
and
H,
JBL.
Triple H, Heyman, Cena. Yeah,
Yeah, they were
anybody who's anybody.
Yeah, they're basically hyping up this big fight, and all I can say is this is another big thing that they did with this special to hype up this big fight, and all I can say is, boys, it's only going to get crazier because next week on the go-home show to SummerSlam edition of Monday Night Raw, both the Dead Man and the Beast will be in the same arena at the same time, and all I can say is, good God, what's going to happen when these two are in the same building? I mean, could we have another melee? I seriously doubt it because I get this feeling Triple H is probably going to
have a lot of fun with
he's probably going to put some kind of ruling that if there is any physicality between these two before their big match at SummerSlam, the fight is off.
You would imagine.
That's what I think is gonna happen next week, but definitely adds more intrigue to this probably one of the most highly anticipated rematches in WWE history.
Absolutely, Michael Bullock, and I know for a fact. I mean, we all, don't get us wrong, we all have a vested interest in that match, but no one has a more vested interest in that match than one Michael James Bullock. Am I right, Mr. Bullock?
Yeah, damn right. Especially after the shock look I had on my face after the streak came to an end last year.
This is over a year and a half of a making. This is basically 16 months that Mike Bullock has been stewing over this moment, knowing that his guy lost at WrestleMania, and he had to have that linger for 16 months. You know, Florio, that Mike Bullock has been tantalizing, dreaming of the day that his guy could get his hands on Brock Lesnar. So, oh yeah, this is more than personal. This is like if Daniel Bryan or Bret Hart for you. This is like Randy Orton or Triple H for me. Mike Bullock eats, sleeps, and dreams The Undertaker, and there's that one loss that's been probably eating him alive, and that's been that loss at WrestleMania. That's probably been eating Bullock up. So, yeah, it's redemption time at SummerSlam.
It's payback time, and all I can say is maybe Brock Lesnar, welcome to Tombstone City, bitch.
Hey now, and Mr. Bullock, I'm just very curious. I want to ask you one quick question. That is, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? God forbid, if they put Lesnar over again.
Well, let's just say the Phenom's coming out, and not in a good way.
All right.
I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna go on a big time Phenom rant, maybe the biggest one ever.
Hide the women and children, boys. That's all I can say. Oh, and one other thing. A quick two-part question here. This is something I normally don't do, but I want to get your quick thoughts on not just that video package that we saw during Raw tonight, but I know you saw the special. You said you saw the special, so what did you think of that, or both of those things?
I thought it was really good. I mean, the way they talked about how it all got started with, of course, the match that was made for last year's WrestleMania between these two, and the way they showed The Undertaker getting beaten down, one suplex after another, one F5 after another, and just seeing the shocked look on everyone's faces. And then, of course, they talked about what happened throughout the year after Lesnar ended the streak. He won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship over John Cena in dominating fashion at last year's SummerSlam. And then, of course, retaining it at Night of Champions, and then, of course, retaining it in an unbelievable triple threat match at the Royal Rumble, and then, of course, losing it when at WrestleMania when Seth Rollins cashed in the Money in the Bank, and then with what happened at Battleground that led to the return of the Dead Man, and then, of course, talking about that probably the segment of the year on Raw with that big brawl between the two of them, to the point where they needed the security, the policemen. Yeah, the security, the policemen, the entire locker room to come out and basically keep those two. I mean, heck, you could have brought the 82nd Airborne and the Army to help out, and I don't even know if that would have been enough to keep these two animals from tearing each other apart. And boy, I mean, that was just an awesome special. Hearing it from all the superstars, like Roman Reigns, like Dean Ambrose, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and like Randy Orton, and Paul Heyman, and John Cena, and JBL, all giving their thoughts about this. And JBL actually gave his prediction, saying that he thinks The Undertaker is going to get his redemption, while Seth Rollins thinks that Brock Lesnar is going to beat The Undertaker again. So, yeah, if you didn't get a chance to see this, you definitely got to watch it again. It's probably going to be on sometime after 2 a.m. on the WWE Network, or you can just watch it anytime. And if you're I strongly recommend to watch this. And
of course.
I don't know. Florio, did you watch it?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I've been getting ready for the show, and we've been doing the show. I don't know if Fletch had. I don't think Fletch had to watch.
What about you, Fletch?
Fletch, I don't think you watched it yet, did you?
Yeah, did you get to see that special yet, Fletch?
The SummerSlam Reckoning. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, did you get to check it out, Fletch? SummerSlam Reckoning, the Phenom versus the Beast.
No, I have not, gentlemen.
Well, you gotta watch it at some point. I'm not saying right now, but definitely at some point.
Yeah, but I'll definitely give it a try, no doubt about it. And
yeah, but definitely more great build into this great fight that we're gonna see at SummerSlam, and I'll tell you this, and Florio, I know he's definitely gonna back me up, as we've talked about it so many times. This match is gonna get 30 to 35 minutes.
Yep.
And this will be far and away better than their match at WrestleMania 30.
And a Fight of the Year candidate.
Because now The Undertaker, he's more healthier than he was at last year's WrestleMania.
Indeed.
I mean, this could have the potential to be one of the top fights of the year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So
5-star classic in the making.
Yeah, definitely. So that's all. That's pretty much all. That's pretty much my thoughts on that special, and of course, continuing to talk about this big fight. Anything else you guys want to add about it?
I definitely want to get. I mean, this is something, like I said, this is something I normally don't do, but Fletch, I mean, I want to know, what did you think of that video package they showed during Raw? I know you saw that.
Oh, I most definitely saw that. I was thrilled. I was enthralled. I was excited. I got jacked up for it because of the fact that for the first time in a long time, we're finally getting to see something really awesome. And yeah, I was very thrilled with it. I liked it. I thought it was solid. And it, once again, gets me enticed and excited for what undoubtedly is probably going to be one of the biggest fights in WWE history. I mean, we're talking, like I said, this is 18, almost a year and a half that the world's been waiting for these guys to get it on one more time at it goes all the way back from WrestleMania 30. It goes all the way back from the night when Brock Lesnar did the impossible and made The Undertaker the victim and 21-1. And trust me, I know Mike Bullock that's been eating him alive for, like I said, for probably the last 16 months. And this is, so yeah, I saw it, I loved it, and it just gives you that extra oomph. Like, if we didn't get enticed right out of the gate when the brawl broke out a couple of weeks back to the pure chaos of what Paul Heyman did in that epic promo that he did that got my blood boiling, my juices going, and now this? I mean, come on. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, okay, WWE, take my $9.99 right now. Take it and kiss that money goodbye. I mean, I am ready for SummerSlam.
Yeah. But then again, you're not the only one, Flex. We're all ready for the biggest party of the summer, no question about it. And I'll tell you what. I mean, I haven't seen the special yet, but as far as the video package is concerned, I definitely agree. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. It was a very strong video package. But then again, when has the WWE production team put together a bad video? I can't remember. I mean, you thought those tribute videos they did for Dusty and the Hot Rod were amazing? That was just as amazing, if not more so. So, very good, very well done there. So that was just a random thing. I'm not gonna count it in our usual order here. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to our next matchup. It was Dean Ambrose, accompanied by Roman Reigns, going one-on-one with Luke Harper, accompanied by Bray Wyatt. Winner of the match in 10 minutes and 45 seconds, Luke Harper. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this Harper-Ambrose matchup?
All right, getting back to this, I thought this was a fine match for what it was. Well, what was the time of the fall again? I couldn't, and the result I couldn't quite hear. Florio?
Yes, 10 minutes and 45 seconds. Luke Harper went over. You remember, we saw it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I just I thought it was a good match for what it was. I'm gonna say 1.5 to maybe. I could go as far as to say even 2 stars. I mean, I thought the match was fine for what it was.
I think didn't we agree we were gonna go higher on that one?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, we did go. Yeah, we did say that. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. It was actually 2 to 2.5 stars is my rating. I thought the match was fine for what it was, and yeah, it definitely adds a little something going into this huge tag team match at SummerSlam with the Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt going up against Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. So, and I think that tag team match is going to be something good, but we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. So, yeah, so match was good. 2 to 2.5 stars is my rating. So, I'm just going to give it to Fletch for his thoughts on this match.
At least 2.25 stars is my rating. I mean, it was a good fight, no doubt about it. I enjoyed it. It definitely cements what I believe will be a fight at SummerSlam between these guys, and this is going to be a thrilling match, no doubt about it. Really nothing else to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Well, what was that rating again, Fletch? I got sidetracked for a moment.
2.25 stars.
Yeah, he said 2.25.
with all due respect, guys, I got to slightly disagree. It's another one of my fights of the night. You remember, Mr. Bullock, when we saw the fight, we were initially leaning towards 2.5 to 3 stars, and but for me, yeah. All right. Okay. Never mind. 2.5. It's really more 2.5, teetering on 3 stars. It's another one of my fights of the night for sure. It was a very good match, to say the very least. Harper getting the Duke here. Let me tell you something. And Michael Bullock, I know you'll back me up, like I backed you up earlier. What did I say during the match when we saw that action on the outside when Roman Reigns hit a certain move that I love?
You said that was the best Superman punch I've ever seen.
Amen. And that's exactly what it was. If you didn't see it, Bray Wyatt was going to try to get a cheap shot on Dean Ambrose outside the ring. All of a sudden, Roman Reigns comes around. Oh my goodness, the Superman punch he landed. Wow. Oh my.
I'm surprised that didn't break Bray Wyatt's jaw.
Amazing. I mean, that was the sickest Superman punch I've ever seen. That was just absolutely phenomenal. That's all there is to say on that. That was my highlight of the fight, to be honest with you. But it's a solid 2.5 stars. It's another one of the fights of the night for sure. It's between this and the Six Diva tag for 3rd and 4th best fights of the night. And of course, you already know what the fight of the night is, that triple threat. So yeah. So that's all I can say on that. So moving on now. Oh boy. Oh, Michael Fletcher. Michael Fletcher's about to be in big time trouble because up next was Miz TV, and who was his guest? Michael Bullock, our man, our idol, the leader of the Yes Movement.
Yes.
The original, ridiculously over Daniel Bryan.
Oh my gosh, there's Fletcher with the
face palm. Well, that's not the only big time face you're gonna see here tonight. Because Mr. Bullock's gonna have a certain face. He's gonna show us a little bit later on.
You're gonna get your laugh, Fletch, when you get the Michael Bullock I can't take it face.
Spoiler alert, that's still to come here on the Wrestling Forum. But nonetheless, ridiculously over Daniel Bryan was the special guest of The Miz on Miz TV in Bryan's home state of Washington, interrupted by The Big Show and Ryback. There's nothing left to say here. Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on this? Wow, what a segment.
Yeah, it was definitely the segment of the night, no doubt about it. I'm not gonna knock it. It's always good to see D-Bry back, and I'm glad that he is back, and he's doing pretty good. Looks pretty healthy. Hopefully we will get to see him back in the ring very soon. The Big Show did come out and basically like, oh, I don't care about you. You shouldn't be a part of this and this and that. Yeah, I mean it's still we're in your home state. Who gives a what? And a lot of people started dumping on him. But the next thing you know, don't look now, but it was Ryback time. And he was definitely feasting tonight. And it's a good thing we see him back because he's been gone for a little bit. Of course, he was out with an injury. But it's good to see him back. And who knows? Maybe this might lead to a fight at SummerSlam between maybe Ryback and The Big Show. Have Miz in the corner of Show and maybe Daniel Bryan in the corner of the big guy. Daniel Bryan did give Ryback the full seal of approval when he won the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event, and then the Ryback said that the big guy respects Daniel Bryan and everything that he's done in WWE. So we'll see what happens. Oh, it's triple threat. I did not know that. Okay. So I guess we'll see D-Bry in the corner of I hope we'll see D-Bry in the corner of Ryback, as Big Show and Miz fights for the title, and we'll wait and see what happens then. So Is this a rematch of it, or because I know the fight was supposed to happen at
That was
Battleground and it never did because Ryback got hurt. So are they doing it now at
yes,
SummerSlam?
yes.
Okay, all right.
You obviously didn't see the last SmackDown, did you, Fletch?
I don't watch SmackDowns.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Plain and simple, I don't watch SmackDown.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah. I
But
think the only SmackDown I ever saw was the night I went to Providence. But other than that, I don't. I'm too busy. I work. I don't have that time.
all right. But well, I'll do my best to fill you in here. Well, it's obvious Fletch didn't see the last SmackDown, but for those of us who did see it, like myself and Mr. Bullet did, and some others out there was a backstage moment. I believe it was. I think it was JoJo Offerman. I'm pretty sure it was JoJo Offerman. She was interviewing the Big Show, and that's when JoJo was the one I believe who brought it up. Who brought up that he was asking Big Show about how he felt about is he going to be does he like his chances and how does he feel about his chances at SummerSlam and that triple threat with Ryback and The Miz and then Show went off like he usually does. So yeah, and remember, this match was supposed to happen at Battleground. We were supposed to see Ryback, Big Show, and Miz triple threat match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, but it got called off because Ryback suffered a staph infection in his knee. So, but now that Ryback is healthy, we're gonna have the match. We're gonna have the match we should have had last month in St. Louis. We're gonna get it in Brooklyn at SummerSlam, triple threat match, Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. But just so now that the backstory is out of the way, I have nothing left to say. This was the segment of the night, far and away. I mean, that was one of the reddest, hottest crowds I have heard in a segment in a long time. I mean, that was an IWC crowd in then some. Everybody knows Daniel Bryan is the poster child of the IWC. He is the epitome of the words IWC darling. He is the darling of the IWC. Everybody knows that. And in that crowd tonight, all those yes chants and no chants and Daniel Bryan chants. I mean, oh man, that was just so wonderful to see, and it was so nice to see Daniel Bryan back on Monday Night Raw for the first time, and yeah, I believe it was since the build to the Elimination Chamber match. Yes, absolutely. When he had to relinquish the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and then he endorsed Ryback as the champion after Ryback won the title, and what we are considering the worst Elimination Chamber match of all time. Ooh, I still cringe thinking about how awful that one was. But nonetheless, a really good segment. I mean, Bryan had the crowd eating out of his hands as usual. I mean, that's not a big surprise. I mean, oh man, that crowd was just so damn jacked, and I was so happy about that. That was a great sight to see, and I believe it. And while there are some naysayers, including even my idol Bret Hart, who says that he will never wrestle again, I believe it in my heart of hearts. Daniel Bryan will wrestle again. I believe it. He's going to come back. I know it's not going to be anytime soon, and that's fine. But great. It was great to see him here. Of course, we'll see him again tomorrow night as he is a judge on Tough Enough, as is The Miz, along with the beautiful Paige. So, yeah. Very good segment. Just an all-around wonderful segment. This was the segment of the night. I mean, and then the payoff we got after that with Ryback, the Big Show, going at it, and Bryan throwing Miz into the ring, and Miz getting caught between that rock and the hard place, and Big Show taking him down, and then Ryback with the meat hook clotheslines, and then Bryan and Ryback doing the yes chant and the feed me more. Oh my goodness, that crowd just wow. If you didn't get an adrenaline rush from that crowd there, wow, you're not human. Straight up, simple as that. So nothing left to say. Segment of the night. I wish I could say the same for the match at SummerSlam, but I don't think it's going to be that good, to be honest. So, with that said, I'm going to throw it up to my partner in crime in the Yes Movement once again, Michael Bullock. How did we feel about this segment tonight? I wonder.
Oh, this was definitely the segment of the night. No doubt about it. It was good to see Daniel Bryan back in front of the home crowd, and yes, me and Florio, we were going nuts and going, yes, 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 yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh,
And
hell yes.
Yeah, and basically they had a little back and forth, and then all of a sudden the Big Show comes out and starts talking about to the Miz about you're gonna take you're gonna win the Intercontinental Championship. No, I'm winning it. And boy, the fans were really getting on him. And he was screaming like, "Oh, you want me to retire? Well, guess what? You're gonna have to get someone to force me to retire." So yeah, I mean, I really like that. And then of course Ryback comes out, and of course Florio, you know what I said when he came out? It's Ryback time! Feed me more!
Come on. Feed
Me more!
Come on.
Feed me more!
Come on.
Feed me more! Done! Finish it! And then basically the Miz basically was like, you know what? I don't want to stand between these behemoths. And then Daniel Bryan throws him back in, and well, he basically got annihilated by the Big Show. And then of course it was Ryback, and Ryback stood tall at the end, and he was even doing the yes chant. So yeah, so the segment was good. The triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. You know what? I think it might be okay, but I think it's definitely going to be one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So segment of the night. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to our next match.
All right, let's see. All right, Michael Bullock, get your I can't take it face ready, my man, because up next, this was a match that Michael Bullock personally told me about during our pre-Raw chat, which extended into the show as always. Rusev with Summer Rae versus Mark Henry. Fight ended in a no contest after 1 minute. So I'm just trying to think. There it is. Michael Bullock. There it is. Marone is right, and I think unfortunately I have to start this off because the luck of the draw bites me for a change.
Oh, I don't envy you, Florio.
Who does?
Oh yeah, I don't envy you, Florio.
Yeah, because Fletch got to lead up on the segment of the night, but yeah, I have every right to call it a dud, but since we had a non-finish, you know what the rule is. It's an automatic NA, so we're going to have to NA this, even though I want to call it a dud. And most likely the worst fight of the night, but here's the thing, though. We got a payoff out of this. Summer Rae hits the accolade. She put the accolade on Lana. Wow. Oh, my. Those two threw down, and initially we thought we were going to get a Ziggler-Rusev fight at SummerSlam, but you heard Lana on commentary say that Ziggler's apparently going to be back after SummerSlam, so I guess we're not going to get that Ziggler-Rusev fight at SummerSlam after all, which is a damn shame. That would have been a good fight, but nonetheless, the match was terrible. It was an NA and a dud, or whatever you want to call it, but the post-match was definitely a lot better, especially when Summer Rae locked in the accolade on Lana. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say on it. So it's an NA, even though I want to call it a dud and the worst fight of the night, but I really don't know what else there is to say, except the post-match was a gazillion times better for me. So with that said, Michael Bullock, if you're all set with your I can't take it face, your thoughts on the fight, even though I already know what it is.
To me, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say this was a dud. I really didn't give two what's about the fight, but the post fight was definitely way better, especially seeing Summer Rae with the accolade on Lana. So yeah, really got nothing else to say. So with that being said, Fletcher, I give it to you.
Yeah, no, this was bad. This is bad all the way around. It was a complete and utter disaster. No defense, no nothing that we can say about this. This just stunk so bad. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Dud is my status as well. Guys, let's just move on.
All right.
And Florio, before we move on, I got something that I want to say about of course, getting back to the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Well, we already know that they're going to be on Raw next week, but I also see here it says it was also hinted that another brawl may take place between the two.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Read into that what you will.
Yeah,
Or
definitely read into that what you will.
Or take it with a grain of salt. So that's all there is to say. So
yeah, just wanted to bring that up.
We're definitely going to keep our eyes on that. No question about that. So, Mr. Bullock, I hate to do it, but you're going to have to get your I can't take it face ready again because for the second match in a row, we had another Dud enhancement fight. It was Adrian Neville versus King Barrett. And the winner of the match, in a whopping 1 minute and 15 seconds, it was Adrian Neville. Neville gets the fall over King Barrett in 1 minute and 15 seconds. And before I throw it to Mr. Bullock, yet another match has been made for SummerSlam. Tag team matchup. This was coming. Adrian Neville will team up with the Arrow himself, Stephen Amell. And I know Fletcher's going to tell us some stories about that because we all know it's well documented his love for the show. Stephen Amell and Adrian Neville, the Red Arrow and the Green Arrow, going up against Stardust and King Barrett at SummerSlam. And you know what? I hate to say it, but I think this is going to make the main card. So that's all there is to say on this. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this match and the upcoming match at SummerSlam?
Dud. Another one of the worst fights of the night. Yeah, and the tag team match, I'm not really looking forward to that. And I'm hoping they put this on the kickoff, because if they put this on the main card, this could definitely. I mean, I don't know I don't even know what to think of this. Dud. I'm done with this piece of crap when it comes to this. Fletcher, please take it.
What are you talking about, Michael Bullock? Okay, yes, I get the thing was done, and I'll give you that. But, dude, Stardust picked the fight with Green Arrow. He picked the fight with Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell hops over the barricade, hops over, basically jumps in the ring like a freaking gazelle, and gets his hands on him. He tackles him down, starts beating him up, and then Triple H goes incense on him. And what does Stephen Amell say? You know what? Get your lawyers, draw up a contract. I'll do whatever. I want to fight. Because this guy pushed me, got in my face, pushed me down. I'm not going to stand for that. I want to fight. So Triple H is like, fine. I'm gonna have my agent I'm gonna have my lawyers draw up the contract. It's gonna be delivered to your agent, and you better have that shit done, signed, sealed, and delivered by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So, and he also says, don't bring your stunt devil, bring yourself, because and trust me, son, you have no idea what the hell you're about to get yourself into. Trust me. I know for a fact that Stephen Amell does do some of his own stunts, not in the Arrow show. The Arrow show has been dominating for about the last 4 years. It's one of their top programs on the CW network. Every Wednesday night, they're coming back in October for a brand new season, a 5th season, and the story about the Green Arrow has been amazing. You got to, if you haven't seen it, it's a must-watch. Actually, some of the other actors and actresses that's been on it, the beautiful Katie Cassidy. Anthony, I think you know her very well. And actually,
I do. Yes, I do. She's on that Melrose.
If you remember her, she used to play young Caitlin Cooper on another hit show called The OC.
Oh, you're bringing back some memories, Fletch.
So you got her, and you got basically now Willa Ford is now playing. She is now the little sister of Stephen Amell's character Oliver Queen. She actually is now transitioning into a superhero herself, calling her. They're calling her Speedy on that, and then Katie Cassidy is she was Laura Lance, and she was in season one kind of the girlfriend of Oliver Queen. That didn't work out. Now she has dubbed the suit as well as the Black Canary. Now, if you comic book knuckleheads and people knows, the Canary is really probably one of the more popular in the Green Arrow saga. So definitely a true awesome moment to see them come in. Hopefully, Stephen Amell, this was rumored that there was going to be a Stardust Amell thing. It was blowing up on Twitter for about, I want to say, about a month or so. There was some back and forth going on. So we kind of knew something was up. And we heard rumors that Stephen Amell was going to be a part of SummerSlam. We didn't know how he was going to be or what was going to be the reason why he was going to be a part of it. Now we know why. Arrow is coming to Brooklyn, and Triple H, they always the line that he always used to say is how people had failed his city in Starling City. This is not Oliver Queen that's going to be there. This is not the Green Arrow that's being there. This is Stephen Amell that's going to be there. A diehard LA Kings fan, and screw you, Amell, for that. And he's also a pretty cool guy, a stand-up guy, a pretty kick-ass guy, to say the very least. So, with that said, Florio, it's yours.
Speaking of the LA Kings, Fletch, I don't know if you heard, but our Rangers just stole one of their cornerstones. Did you hear about that?
Jordan Staal. I
Staal.
like it.
Yeah, Jarrett Staal. We got him. How awesome is that, huh? But that's a story maybe for the next Strictly Sports. I don't know, but for right now, it was a dud. It was another one of the worst fights of the night. Probably the second worst fight of the night. Probably the Rusev and Henry was far and away worse. So that's a no-brainer. But this was terrible. This was a squash match. I mean, I knew Neville was going to get a squash win, but I didn't know it was going to come against Barrett, who was getting some good wins. But here we go. SummerSlam. Fletch, you touched on all of it because you are the arrow mark out of the three of us. I mean, SummerSlam. Amell and Neville against Stardust and Barrett tag team matchup. So we already know who's going to win. Neville and Amell is going to go over because I can never recall a time whenever they did a celebrity angle. Have you ever remembered a celebrity going under? I don't. I'm pretty sure the celebrity has never lost a celebrity tie-in match. Never happened. I mean, name any celebrity who's been involved in a match. Mr. T, back in the old days, back in WrestleManias 1 and 2. I mean, Floyd Mayweather against The Big Show at WrestleMania 24, or Maria Menounos at WrestleMania 28 in that Diva tag match. I mean, you get the picture. Anytime a celebrity tie-in has happened, the celebrity's always gone over. I mean, I could go on and on about it, but I'm not going to do that. So with that said, it was the second worst fight of the night. This was a straight-up dud. I mean, it was a showcase win for Neville. I hate that it had to come against Barrett, who was getting some good wins back, but nonetheless, far and away their worst effort. I mean, the King of the Ring match was far and away better, and Fletch and I agree on that because we had a lot of fun with that one. So yes, that's it. So we're just going to move on to to the main event. Here we go, boys. Seth Rollins defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against the Viper Randy Orton. Winner of the match via disqualification in 13 minutes and 31 seconds. It was the Viper Randy Orton. So I do believe the luck of the draw goes on to Michael Fletcher here. So Fletch, your thoughts on the main event?
This was a great match, but I'm so pissed. Orton had the belt won. He had it. It was right there for the taking. And Sheamus pulls the leg out from Orton, pulls him out of the ring. That causes the DQ finish. Orton had the title won. He hit the RKO on Rollins. He covered him. It was a 1, 2, the 3 was coming down. It was right there. And then Sheamus, at the last possible moment, pulls him right out from under him. And the fight ends with Orton only winning by DQ. I'm so pissed right now because of that. But the thing is that then Sheamus got greedy. Sheamus rolls into the ring, hits Seth Rollins with a bro kick with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Looks like he's gonna try to cash in. You're not gonna cash in, you son of a bitch! After you screwed Orton over, you're gonna get RKO'd out of nowhere for that. So Orton gets his revenge on Sheamus. It looks like these two guys are on the collision course for SummerSlam, but it also now opens the door maybe for Sheamus to cash in at SummerSlam. And that was actually one of the scenarios that was in the back of my mind, was that I think Sheamus might try to cash in at SummerSlam. Now I'm pretty sure he's going to try to cash in at SummerSlam. Think about it. 4-hour pay-per-view special now. On top of that, it's for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, we're getting a cash in. It's almost guaranteed now. So with that said, my rating is about 2.5 to 3 stars. This is a good fight, but the finish just pissed me off. Floyd, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. A very good, another a solid main event, to say the very least. A very good main event with a clunky finish. But I will be honest here. I thought it was the second best fight of the night here. I'm going to give it a solid 3 to 3.25 stars, to be honest with you, Flex, because there was some good near falls, some good Shakespearean drama. I mean, it looked like Randy Orton was going to become the new champion, which really would have put the title picture going into SummerSlam into a complete downward spiral. And it definitely would have, and definitely once again, Anarchy would have ruled, a la the old ECW pay-per-view, Anarchy rules. I know Fletch has seen a few of those in his lifetime, but nonetheless, what a match it was. I mean, definitely it was better than that god-awful steel cage match at Extreme Rules. Between this match and their match at WrestleMania, these two were the two best fights in their series of matches. No question about it. I mean, they do have some good chemistry together. This was a very good match, and you know, you knew Rollins was going to walk out with the belt anyway. I mean, you know the plan is to do Rollins and Cena at SummerSlam in that title-for-title matchup where the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and the United States Heavyweight Championship are both going to be on the line. The first significant title match since the No Mercy 2002 when Triple H and Kane battled over the World Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So. And then, of course, don't forget the original one, the Ultimate Challenge at WrestleMania 6, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior for the old WWE, for the old World Wrestling Federation Championship and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But maybe Cena will make that announcement official when he appears on Tough Enough tomorrow night. You never know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But for right now, this was a 3 to 3.25. I was initially overall it was a 3.5 star fight. But because of the clunky finish, I'm going to bump it down to 3 to 3.25 and call it the second best fight of the night. There's no question about it. So a very wild and crazy way. And then Sheamus, of course, trying to cash in Money in the Bank. I knew it wasn't going to happen. Come on, did you really think it was going to happen? Come on. There was no doubt about that. And then he gets RKO'd out of nowhere by Randy Orton. And Fletch, there's no question about it. I agree with you. But then again, this has been rumored for a while. You know we're going to get another Orton-Sheamus fight at SummerSlam. There's no doubt about this. So that's pretty much all I can say on it. So a wild and crazy way to close out what was another very good edition of Monday Night Raw, which we've been getting spoiled for the last, couple of months now. Fantastic. So 3 to 3.25 stars, second best fight of the night. I think you underscored it a little bit, Flex, just to be honest. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, I do agree. This was a 3-star match. I mean, I thought the match was just so good until the ending, but basically killed it. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else to say. I mean, you pretty much touched on everything. So 3 stars. So with that being said, Florio, overall thoughts time.
Overall thoughts on tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw, and I'm going to start it off. Solid 7.5, teetering on 8 out of 10. This was another very good edition of Monday Night Raw tonight. The fight of the night, no question about it, the triple threat number 1 contenders match with Randy Orton, Cesaro, and Kevin Owens. Second best fight, the Randy Orton, Seth Rollins title match. Third best fight of the night, I would probably have to say it was the match with Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. That's the third best fight of the night. And then the fourth best fight of the night would be the Six Diva tag with Team Bella and Team Bad. Those were far and away the 4 best fights of the night, hands down. And then the other highlights, of course, the Miz TV with Daniel Bryan that ended up getting interrupted by the Big Show and Ryback. Far and away the segment of the night. Crowd ate that sucker alive from start to finish. Once Daniel Bryan made his way down, that's when all hell broke loose, and it was a lot of fun to watch. And even that opening segment, Rollins, that was interrupted by Orton, Cesaro, Owens, and Triple H. That was even a very good segment too. The lowlights, of course, the Rusev and Henry match, far and away the worst fight of the night, dud, NA, whatever you want to call it. And then the other lowlight was the Adrian Neville King Barrett fight, very disappointing, another absolute dud. But other than that, it was a very good edition of Raw, another great edition of Raw. We've been getting spoiled for the last several weeks now. I hope they keep it going into the big go-home show next week, the big go-home for SummerSlam, the Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota, which back in the day actually hosted a SummerSlam back in 1999. Everybody remembers that one. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens going into that. Of course, with The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar being in the same arena, there's no question about it. Another chaotic brawl is going to go down, according to Michael Bullock. I guess he came across a dirt sheet a little bit ago. So yeah, we're definitely going to be glued to our sets next week. The eyes will be on the screens, the butts will be in the seats, no doubt about it. For what will be the biggest go-home show since the go-home show to WrestleMania. So that's all there is to say on that. So yes, not only was it a very good edition of Raw, but it was also a newsworthy show tonight with those new additions to SummerSlam, with the Fatal 4-Way for the tag team titles, the multi-diva that 3-diva faction elimination match, and of course Stephen Amell and Adrian Neville going up against Cody Rhodes, Stardust, and King Barrett. So to me, it's a solid 7.5, teetering on 8 out of 10. But however you slice it, another damn good edition of Monday Night Raw. And thank you, WWE, for keeping on for continuously spoiling us with these damn good Monday Night Raws over the last several weeks. And next week, with next week being the go home to SummerSlam, I don't expect anything less. And Michael Bullock, you're going to tell us why. So, with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Raw, your overall thoughts on this week's Raw, and what's our criteria for next week's go-home edition of Monday Night Raw, which we don't expect anything less of?
All right. Well, first, let me give you my rating. Yeah, it's a 7.5 to teetering on 8 out of 10. When it comes to this edition of Monday Night Raw, it was another good show. I mean, we've been getting spoiled with these good edition of Monday Night Raws, and all I can say is to WWE, all I can say is keep it up. And of course, the highlights for me, of course, the segment of the night being the Miz TV segment with Daniel Bryan, and of course with the Big Show and Ryback coming in, and then of course the segment with Seth Rollins, you had some good fights here with the triple threat number one contenders match. Randy Orton against Seth Rollins. Yeah, but of course the low lights was of course Mark Henry and Rusev and Neville versus King Barrett. So yeah, another good addition. And next week's Raw, the go home to SummerSlam edition of Monday Night Raw at the Target Center. And I don't expect anything less. And I expect this to be, yeah, when it comes to this needs to at least be a 7 out of 10. If it's anything less than that, watch out. I am going to go off. I'm going to go on a rant if WWE gives us less than a 7 out of 10. I mean, especially, of course, when you got, of course, to me, I think next week you'll probably see, you may see John Cena finally accept the title for title match. And, of course, the one everyone's going to be glued onto, Undertaker and Brock Lesnar being in the same building. And with that news I broke, that there could be another brawl on its way. Oh, if that is the case, I think you just may need to bring out the security and superstars to keep these two separated. Although I do get this feeling that maybe Triple H will probably put some kind of ruling down that if these two do indeed start to brawl, the fight's going to be off. But we'll have to wait and see, and it's definitely something to keep an eye on next week. So 7.5 to teetering on 8 out of 10. Fletcher, your thoughts on the show?
I gotta go at least 7.5 tonight, no doubt about it. I think it was just a good show, solid show, no doubt about it. The sky's the limit now. The go home show, I mean, we're expecting at least 7 and beyond because of the fact that each week we've been getting great numbers, great figures, great shows, and nothing has really, I guess you could say, nothing's really backed up or backed down in our way. So at the end of the day, it's good enough for us. Can't wait to see what happens next. So yeah, at least 7.5 is my rating tonight. More than anything else. So with that said, Anthony, let's just move on.
Well, we're gonna put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forums. So yeah, that definitely will put the bow on this show tonight. We of course thank you all so very much for tuning in as usual. So you know the routine now. At the end of our show, we do our shout outs, and thankfully it falls into the perfect position. So Michael Bullock, you start it off, and you give it to Fletch, and then I'll wrap it up with the future content. So Mr. Bullock, start us off.
All right. Of course, we thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of the Wrestling Forum here tonight. Of course, shout-outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who support our shows, whether it's this or Strictly Sports. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. And, of course, shout-outs to our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, Matt Ward, and Jason Hicksonbaugh. Of course, shout-outs to all of our friends from our high school days, starting with Al Brederson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, of course, to Derek Ferreira, who continues his leave of absence as he continues his sports blog commitments, and of course, we do expect him back soon, and I'm hoping he does come back for the go home to review the go home to SummerSlam edition of Monday Night Raw. But we'll have to wait and see on that. So, yeah, and of course, I'll save the rest of my shout-outs Friday night on Strictly Sports. So until then, this is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, saying thank you all so much for listening to us. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it at Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. Of course, God bless and be good to each other. And for now, Mike Bullock, so long. Fletcher, your shout-outs.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you to all the great fans out there who watches the Wrestling Forum. You guys are really special. You guys already know that. All right, I actually got a little bit of a programming note just for all you guys out there. Tomorrow, please log on to my Braves Fan 95. I'm actually going to do a special video. I already got the go-ahead to do this. I got the clearance to do it as well. It's for the RWA Legacy number 8. The show's going down this Saturday night in Warwick, Rhode Island at the Thayer Arena. It is sold out. The SRO signs are up for this show. It's standing room only. But there are tickets that's going to be sold at the door. $10 to get in. The doors open at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The show kicks off at 7, and it's already a loaded card, to say the very least. There's a tag team battle royale that's going to determine the number 1 contenders for the RWA Tag Team Championship. And gentlemen, you listen to this. 2 fights is going to be in the confines of a 15-foot high steel cage. That's right, a cage is going to be in the building, and there's 2 title fights on that. On top of that, there is a return fight that's also for a championship, as well as I got to see it live. Cipriano Abruzzi is going to fight Triplicious. That's for the RWA Hype Championship. And then the 2 big fights of the night, and I'm going to get into more detail about it. The Influence, the Ace, Mike Monteiro, and Jason Devine goes up against Shady Cash and Frank Champion, the heavy hitters. They are the reigning defending tag team champions. They are going to be locked in a 15-foot high steel cage, and that fight's going to go down. And then in the main event for the RWA, for the Renegade Wrestling Alliance Triple Crown Championship in the confines of a 15-foot high steel cage as well, the champion, the unbalanced Messiah, Christopher Dozier, will put his title on the line against former champion, number 1 contender, the Mind Eraser, Mike Grassa. I'll get into more detail about that tomorrow on Braves Fan 95. Like I said, the building is sold out. However, the SRO signs are indeed up. But tickets will be sold at the door at the Thayer Arena in Warwick on Saturday night. Tickets are, that's the only way you're going to be able to get in now, because they did actually stop doing it. You had a chance to do it on the RWA Wrestling website on rwawrestling.net. However, they cut that off today. The only way you can get in now is if you get a ticket or you pay $10 for adults. I think it's $5 for kids. I think it's like 6 or 5. 5 and under, you can get in for $5 a piece for the event, and trust me, it's worth it, guys. One other thing, and I'm sorry I'm taking so much time, but I need to get this off my chest. Last night, I got to witness was Triple H Triple Mania, the 23rd edition. I want to go on a little mini rant here on my shoutouts, because I really felt this show was a complete and utter mess. It was a horrible pay-per-view. If I would have rated this, I can only rate this a 1.5 to 2 out of 10. It is by far the worst pay-per-view event of the year. It is without a doubt the dud of the year, the zonk of the year. It was a complete and utter failure. And for AAA to do an event like this is pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, reprehensible, and downright stupid in their minds, because I mean, we would be shredding this if this was WWE or TNA or something like that. But AAA is a real recognizable company and a big company in Mexico. And I don't know what happened last night. The card was horrible. They had audio issues all night long. The commentary from Hugo Semenovich and Matt Stryker was off the whole night. I don't know what happened. Um, I know a lot of people's been blasting it. The way the card went down, the main event, Mystico versus Rey Mysterio. The fight was good, but then the ending was so horrific. I mean, they basically didn't let they cut the feed of the show off during a beatdown segment. I mean, it's there's so many things that went wrong with this pay-per-view that I'm glad Derek Ferrer did not cover it. I know if he would have torched this thing like I'm torching it right now. Um, it, I don't know what to say. And the thing is because if you follow Lucha Underground like I do, I'm a religious fan of it. A lot of the guys that was on the Triple Mania show was on Lucha Underground this entire season, and for them to do this, it's an absolute embarrassment in my eyes. It's an embarrassment to professional wrestling, and as an IWC fan, I was not surprised that they dumped all over this show last night. This show is definitely the worst pay-per-view or iPay-per-view event of the year, and it is a strong candidate for worst event of the year. Hands down. I'm calling it right now. This probably will be the worst event of the year, where right now I could probably say Wrestle Kingdom 9 and WrestleMania are practically neck and neck for pay-per-view event of the year, for best event of the year. So with that said, um, I do also got a major announcement for Friday night on Strictly Sports. I'm gonna save that till then. But it is a huge announcement, and it is gonna be real awesome. So I got a major announcement for Friday night. My major announcement for the night is the suckiness of Triple Mania, and on top of that, I am gonna be at the RWA show on Saturday night. With that said, um, thank you to all the great fans out there, to the super fans. You guys already know who you guys are. To the 2184 crew, I love you guys. To my friends in the junior high and high school days, you guys already know who you guys are. Until then, I'll see you guys Friday night, 10:30 Eastern. Mike Fletcher, you know the routine. Jose Pounds, I'm out. Good night. Florio, take it home.
Man, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but I'm going to give it my best here. Very good information indeed, Michael Fletcher, about the Triple Mania. I saw the post on the Facebook, and I'm glad that you took matters into your own hands. I was honestly going to ask you about it anyway, so I'm glad you brought it up. So I'm like, wow, how bad was it? Well, Fletcher just told us how bad it was, so I'm glad you brought that up. Very good. So, and yes, and you just added some Shakespearean drama for Friday night on Strictly Sports. I cannot wait to hear it. I mean, first it was big announcement Dixie, then it was big announcement Derek, then it was big announcement Tony. Now we got big announcement Mikey. I cannot wait for this big announcement you have on Friday night. It's obviously going to be something that's going to maybe shake the core of our shows here, and I cannot wait to hear what this announcement is. So yeah. So there's a reason. There's already a reason to tune in to Strictly Sports Friday night, right there. So yes. Of course, special shout-outs to all of our tremendous fans out there who continue to make the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports as ridiculously over as they are. We appreciate that as always. You are the best fans in the world. You already know that by now. Of course, special shout-outs to Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family, along with Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Danny Luttrell from the UK, and, of course, Megan Silva and Kaiser Butler, along with the rest of our crew, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Bradison, and Rob Parsons, and last but certainly not least,
the Hardcore Python, Derek Pereira, who continues his sportsblog.com commitments. Really taking off with that. You already know my story from last night. So we hope to have him back very soon. These shows have not been the same without him, but hey, we're going to continue to do what we can here on the forum. We're going to keep holding it down until he's ready to come back, so which I'm hoping is very soon. And next week would be great, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. So yeah. So and then of course we can't forget about Lindsay McCormick because she is a big WWE mark like we all are. So can't forget about her. So yeah, and I'll save the rest of my shout outs of course for Friday night. So yes, Friday night 10:30 Strictly Sports. We don't have anything on the docket right now. We could get into that Patrick Kane controversy. We could get into perhaps we may talk about the New York Rangers signing Jarrett Stoll from the Los Angeles Kings. That should be an interesting discussion there. Major League Baseball power rankings. That's a given. But we'll have to keep an eye out on all the big sports news throughout the week, and hopefully we can have a docket. Hopefully Derek will have a docket set to go for Friday night for Strictly Sports. So but in the meantime, just keep an eye out on Derek's Facebook page or the Strictly Sports Facebook page as soon as the docket is ready to go, and you'll be the first to see it on our social media outlets. So yeah, that's going to do it for this edition of the Wrestling Forum. So we thank you all so very much for watching. So until Friday night for Strictly Sports, it is ridiculously over Anthony Florio, for the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit the Hardcore Python Derek Pereira, saying you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up, talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Orchard Forest style. Have a great rest of the week, everybody, and until Friday night at 10:30 for Strictly Sports, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on Zone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, Anthony Florio. So long.